good. I think we're good. The lighting is okay. It's fine. Uh, what was my? I don't even remember what we were doing. Oh, that's right. Okay, we're good. Oh, my lights aren't on. Oh well. What the fuck happened? Oh shit. Okay, that's not it. Oh god, why are Twitch streamers? Oh, did I? Okay, we're good. Okay, we'll come back to this.
If you show up and there's 50 dudes,
Didn't mean to do that.
you're gonna be like, fuck this, and you're gonna leave.
No, that's not what I was referring to. Of course, I want a man that other women want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want a man that is for everybody.
Giving himself
like,
to all these
that's
women.
not what I'm saying. I want a man that's desired by other women.
Right.
Who doesn't? Like, who doesn't want somebody that's desired by other people? That's validating my.
Oh no, are we gonna disagree? Look, oh no. I understand the view that we shouldn't. I want to go down this path with you. By platform, you mean just give equal space to discuss? Yeah, I guess equal space is like one thing. Oh shit. Why did your name change colors, my chat? My screen. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I think like being critical, but I think the reason this all came up was there was a big like political streamer who brought on, I don't know if you know who Nick Fuentes is. He's a big I would probably consider him like an actual like neo-Nazi. Like his views are like super far right, but he's like this like 23-year-old, 20, he's like early 20s. He's like probably close to my age. But he's been online for like, I don't know, 8 to 8 years. I don't know, around 6 years or something like that, 6 or 7 years. So he's been around for a long time, and like he was really well known back in the day. And then he kind of like lost a little bit of his steamroll when he like got banned off a bunch of platforms, and now he's kind of making a come up again because he has like he made his own platform. But a couple of political streamers have now had him on for like debates and stuff. And so I think there's a lot of discussion around whether like people like that should be debated or even brought onto people's channels to be like to discuss. So that was like kind of the whole drama, and then everyone online was like, "Oh, how dare you like platform this guy? Like you can't bring people like this on. Like you're giving him more space to like spread his ideas." Which I understand if you like if this was like a non-critical like just like regular conversation, like they were just like bros being bros, haha, you have some funny ideas. Like no, it was like usually like most of the stuff was like really debatey, and they were going back and forth a lot. So like he was pushing back against his ideas. So in my I and then I don't think a lot of like this streamers viewers would like move towards the right. So I think in my opinion I was like I don't see the problem with it, but I also know a lot of people did have a big problem with it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get people on to discuss to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I can understand like them spreading their ideas, but if you're spreading your ideas to like a leftist community, it's gonna be really hard to move anyone, right? Yeah, towards the right, or like especially not towards like neo-Nazi ideas. Um, well, in one way, I think platforming them, like let's say Milo Yiannopoulos, if you remember him, their views ultimately destroy their own reputation over time. The problem is when the person is semi-competent. Yeah, I think that's like the thing. I think people see this guy as a little bit more competent. Like Milo Yiannopoulos was kind of a character. Like he was very like intense and insane. Like he had a very maybe like bombastic personality. He was like almost kind of like comedic in the way he presented. And then he eventually like went so far with the gag that I think people lost interest. Like he just lost a lot of his reputation just kind of went down the hole. He also got into a lot of scandals, I know, with other like major political figures on the right. So I know a lot of people like disavowed him just because like they hated him personally. Like there was a lot of like shit he did in the background. But like I think the problem with the Nick Fuentes guy that like everyone's having an issue with like being platformed right now. I don't know if you must know Sneeko, like all the Sneeko and Fresh and Fit stuff. Like Nick Fuentes is becoming all buddy buddy with Sneeko, and then him and Sneeko were going on about like race realism stuff, and it was like, oh god, it's like the weirdest crossover in history when you have like people like the red pill like Sneeko guys, and now they're like being all friendly with like neo Nazis, and it's like, you haven't heard of Sneeko? Oh Brady, oh I feel like I'm talking to a boomer sometimes. What is happening? He's like a mini Fresh and Fit or like a mini Andrew Tate, but he's much younger and less competent. Um, so yeah, that's fair. I have for a couple of weeks not paid attention to it because I was doing school, and then I went on vacation, and now I was like, oh, I gotta start looking at stuff again because I watched videos while I was away and stuff like that, but I just try not to keep up with as much when I was on vacation because I was around people who were like, you need to like take a break, and I was like, no, I need to be on top of everything. I'm like, I have to be doing stuff. Like I was trying to set up other stuff for I was trying to set up all the philosophy stuff that I want to be doing on this channel now, but I haven't gotten through like what I actually want and like what philosophy stuff I want to cover. So I haven't moved on to that topic just yet, but I think starting next week I want to move to more like stay on topic with like legal and law and then like philosophy stuff, but like the social issues are just so good for conversations. Um yeah, I just think it makes me sad. No. Like the more I like engage, like I think ever since I got in Twitter, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to feel about anybody anymore. I was like, everyone's stupid. I'm leaving. I can't do Twitter. Oh, okay. Well, on better news, we'll talk about student loan forgiveness. That's something you'll like. Actually, oh no, wait. Are you even actually? That's probably personal, but are you even eligible for this like student loan forgiveness stuff because you didn't do your education here? That'd be interesting. I'd be interested to know. You don't have to tell though on stream if you're uncomfortable with that. But but no, anytime I go there, I turn into a learning event. That's smart. I follow like 2 political streamers, and then I follow a alligator account, and then like my mom and my cousin. I follow like a handful of people, which is like you guys, 2 other political streamers, and then my favorite account is my alligator account. There's a guy who just posts alligators every day, and that's it's a good account. Alligators Daily or Gators Daily. That's the account. can imagine my smug face now. Oh, dang! Good for you! Get your money up. You might not like my... Actually, no, you probably will like my take on this. Because I think I actually do have a positive take on this plan. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read enough into it, so we're going to read about it right now. And then I'll decide whether I think you deserve the 10,000 Brady. I'm kidding. That sounded so mean. That is terrible. Okay. Whew. More than 40 million Americans could see their student loan debt reduced, and in many cases eliminated, under a long-awaited forgiveness plan. U.S. President Joe Biden announced Wednesday a historic but politically divisive move into the run-up of the country's midterm elections. Fulfilling a campaign promise, Biden is erasing $10,000 U.S. in federal student loan debt for those with incomes below $125,000 a year or households that earn less than $250,000. He's canceling an additional $10,000 for those who receive federal Pell Grants to attend college. What are Pell Grants? I don't even know what that is. That one is me. What is a Pell Grant? Oh, I can't. Pell Grant. No, I can't. Why? There. Oh, also, my bangs are growing out after, like, I had, like, those fluffy, like, fringe bangs, but now they're too long to, like, style across my forehead because they're just in my eyes. So now they're, like, slightly swooping. They were really cute for, like, a week and a half, and now they're, like, grown out, and now they're just always in my face. Thank you. I'm dyeing my hair again in a week, though, so that's fun. I'm going ginger. We're gonna be twins! I'm gonna be a ginger. I have to sell my soul, so. Hey, yo. We'll have to do a stream. We can be siblings. Ginger gang. Oh, that's so cute. I just realized that, yeah. I have, like, I think you're my only ginger friend. I'm so excited. I am actually so excited. I haven't dyed this is the longest I've ever had a hair color. Every hair color I've had, I've only ever had for like 6 to 8 months, and I've had the red for like a year now, so I was like, it's time to change. So, exciting. Okay, so, sorry, we'll go back to this. Pell Grant is a subsidy the U.S. federal government provides for students who need it to pay college. Federal Pell Grants are limited to students with financial need or who have not earned their first bachelor's degree or who are enrolled in certain post-baccalaureate programs through participating institutions. Wait, why would it be... He's canceling an additional for those who receive... Is it just because people who receive Pell Grants are... Like, you don't have to pay back a Pell Grant, right? It's a grant. So is it just like students who had to use this level of a grant that they're like saying like these people are probably in a worse economic situation, so they're getting an additional 10,000 off? I only took out loans for my master's, so this one isn't for me. Okay. A Pell Grant is generally considered the foundation of a student's financial aid package, to which other forms of aid are added. Yeah. They don't need to be repaid. Okay, there you go. So they don't need to be repaid, but these students are probably just like, the first 10K applies to me. Yeah. So I think this is like just because, oh yeah, it even says here, now it's 20,000 of debt would be canceled for Pell Grant. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just because people who use Pell Grants are probably worse off economically, so he's saying like anyone who used it would need like an extra 10,000 in relief. I mean, I make less than 100K, 120K or whatever it was. Yeah. Damn. I don't know a lot of people who would be... How many people in the States, like what percentage of the States earns over this? How would you even search that? Wage, yearly wage. Population US. I have no idea how to search that. I want to know average US. The average annual wage in 2019 was 51,000. The median. What percentage of Americans make less than 75,000? A little more than 50% of... Okay, so 54% only make that much. Let's see the 100,000. That's probably easy. That's the easy one. $44.6 sixth then? Almost 50%. No, wait. What? No. Almost 50% of 100,000 earners are living paycheck to paycheck. What are you buying if you're earning 100,000 and living paycheck to paycheck? This has to be true in like maybe New York. Maybe that's because that's where all the high-paying jobs are in like cities. But who? How are you living a paycheck to paycheck at 100 grand a year? There's no way. I don't believe that. I don't believe you. I don't believe that. That's insane. No, that you're making bad financial decisions if you are living paycheck to paycheck. What is that? Just under 10K a month, right? No, just kidding. That was stupid. Let's see. How much? Why am I not mathing the math right now? Divided by 12. Yeah. Okay. No, that's right. 8,000 a month. If you're paying like, okay, let's say, what's the average? Depends on where you are, but like a decent okay, at least where I am, like 1,600 to 2K. Probably 6 after taxes. Okay. So if you're paying like 1,500 a month for, actually no, it's probably more than that. Let's say even 2,000 a month for housing. Right? That's down to 4. Groceries are going to be like for one person like 500 a month. I'll give you, because food has gone up in expensive. 2,500. And then like, oh fuck, I don't know how much utilities and everything are in the States though. I think it's cheaper in BC, but that's because we're on like a lot of our stuff is. Oh fuck, I don't know what states like pricing is, but I can't imagine that even at that much you can't be living paycheck to paycheck. 9 only 9% of the people in the country earned at least 100,000. So at 9% of people earning over 100,000, which is even less than the 125, but we'll say even at 9%, like that's a really small percentage of people that are excluded. But I guess that's fine. That makes sense. If you want everyone to be included in this, that's okay. I'll be gentle on this. That's an okay limit to send, I think. A household. What if your household makes more than 250K but your parents don't pay for your shit? Because that's the other. Oh, this is always like, this was funny because I remember even at our universities, it was one of those things where like if you don't live with your parents, you can apply for additional grants, but if you live at home, you can't. And people were like, yeah, but I'm paying for my own school. But because they lived at home, they like can't get additional bursaries because like it's like assumed that like, I don't know. I remember hearing that from somebody that I went to school with. I'm not gonna remember that story exactly. But yeah. Anyway. It's seen as unprecedented attempt to stem the tide of Americans' rapidly rising student debt, but it doesn't address the broader issue, the high cost of college. I would agree with this. I think the student debt forgiveness stuff is stupid, mostly. Like, this is fine doing the 10,000 is like a little bit of a buffer. I'm okay with that. But the like, your guys' fucking schooling is so expensive. Let's see, average cost of 1 year of university. Oh, what was I typing there? Average cost 1 year college US. Published tuition fees start at an average of 10,000 for state residents, 26,000 for everyone else. That's insane. Even at 10,000, I think I pay about 7,500 a year because my one semester is usually about 2,500. Which I don't think is like it's a little high. But I've like seen in the States like people pay like 15 to 30 grand for one year of schooling. It's crazy. Like your guys' semesters are so expensive. But maybe like at local schools it's a little bit less. Let's see. Out of state residents. What do you Yeah, 10,000 seems super high, especially as an average, which means my total loans for my master's was 30K. Yeah, I feel like master's programs usually cost a little bit more, which sucks. But if you're going into your master's, like I don't know, but like just for like even base like your bachelor's is crazy high. 100 for air near 145 electricity, 1600 rent, health insurance, 300 adding gas, car insurance, food, minimal loan payments. Okay, so 250. You're at 32,000. So yeah, even at yours, if you had 6,000 a month, you would be okay. But I guess that makes sense. Like if you're making 125K, so I guess that's why they made the cutoff there because that seems like the average. But I feel like if you live in like, I guess oh no, you live in Arizona, which is not the how ooh actually oh god, I know so little about the states. It's bad. How expensive is Arizona in compared to like other states? Are you guys like a relatively cheap state to live in, or is it relatively expensive? Because like I know places like Texas, like housing is really really cheap, but I don't know anything about Arizona's like market right now. So like I don't know what. I guess 1,600 makes sense. I yeah now that because like food, housing. I guess housing is one of the biggest things. Like if you're paying $1,600 of rent per month, that makes sense because that's close to what we would pay here. Actually, it's a little less than what I'm where I'm at, but I'm in Canada, so um, I'm barely learning the value of the dollar. Which is actually because all things. Oh, I actually have a question. Do you guys your what's it called? Do you have to pay like a shit ton of interest on your loan repayment or on your for your school like your student loans? Because that's the other thing that I found is different between Canada and US. Why I never understood like why student loan debt was so bad in the US is because you guys have like way worse plans. Like in Canada, I know like if you start working in your field after university, like you don't have interest like or you can get plans that don't have like interest on your student loans for like X amount of years. Or if you pay a certain amount, like you don't have to pay interest like for X amount. It's like stuff like that. Like there's like way better planning. I don't know if it's like just like ours are more accessible and like people know about them, or if the states just doesn't have anything like that. Um, I'm not super um, economically knowledgeable, so um, if I sound like I'm rambling a little bit, but I know these things are like different. Yeah, tons of interest. The 30K was the original balance. It's gone up several thousand since I graduated. Though. Jesus, see that's like my biggest issue. One, your plans need to be better for student what's it called? Student for like your student loans. Why not make plans that don't fuck people to the extent into like the ends of the universe? Because like in Canada, we have plans that like just basically don't have like interest as long as you like go into working right away or like if you pay back a certain amount by a certain period, like our interest rate or our interest like doesn't like compound insanely or whatever. Whereas in the states it does. And then second of all, why are we making college just? Why does it cost so much? Like I'm at a pretty high level, like pretty top tier university, and I know like the other top tier, not top tier. Sorry, I'm at one of the more like known universities in Canada, and I know like people from the like most known university in my province, and I think even theirs is like probably around like 10K or less. So I'm like, how the fuck is the states probably charging for like education that's half as good 10K a year? Sorry, I meant 75K a year. um it should be free as for many of my peers in the EU. Damn. Yeah, I don't mind having a little bit of payments going to university. I don't mind their like I don't think the thing is I don't think like money should ever be like a like gatekeeping factor of education. And I saw a really good reasoning for this. Like you there might be kids who like are really incredibly intelligent or really smart and like have like the ability to like do really well and do great things if they had the opportunity to get that higher education, but they'll never do it because they don't have like this financial backing. Um, Wait, you get stipend from the government for going to school? Oh shit. That's sick as fuck. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I like when you have like setups that like encourage people to get education because you want an educated population. I don't know why this like again Canada's a little bit better, but like US almost like almost encourages people not to go to university because like you're fucked with all these student loans. And like I know a lot of people can handle it, but there's a lot of people who can't. But like you fuck people with student loans, you make college incredibly expensive. Like it just seems like and the level of education in American universities right now is just going downhill, okay? It's not good. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck, America's so done. Anyway, let's go back to the article. Republicans quickly denounced the plan as an insult to Americans who have repaid their debt and to those who didn't attend college. This is always such a dumb argument. I suffered and had to pay, therefore you suffer. You should suffer and have to pay. Why is that an argument we make in like response to this? To me, it's so stupid because it's like, should we not want to create a better future? Like, what is the point of ever changing anything if we want people to like suffer just as much as we did? There'd be no point. Why would we ever improve anything? It's like I grew up in a shit house because we didn't have access to stuff, so I want you to grow. Like, we would never make this argument for anything else. This is such a... I was able to buy a house and 2 cars on a 40K salary in 1970. I paid off my... Yeah, exactly. That, like... If you're above the age of 40 and you're making a comment like this, you need to shut the fuck up because the world has changed so much since you were in university. Like 20 years ago, you were more okay to like do shit like this. But like ever since then, like if you were in university pre 2000, don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't. Your opinion is invalid on this topic. I'm sorry. Look, I don't agree with like student loan forgiveness either, but like I have my reasons. If you just want other people to suffer and pay their loans back because you had to, that is not an argument against student loan forgiveness. Critics across the political spectrum also question whether Biden has authority for the move, and legal changes are virtually certain. Oh, that'd be interesting to look at. Don't platform the boomers. Honestly, true. I guess I can't platform you anymore then. Sorry, no, just kidding. That was mean. Biden also extended a pause on federal student loan payments for what he called the final time. Oh shit! How long? Haha. I didn't know there was still a pause on the student loan payments. Was that just through the pandemic, right? Like, because people couldn't pay? Is this like the final extension they're doing for people to like not have to pay? I didn't even know they did that. I thought you guys just said like, yeah, it's been okay. So it was just a pandemic thing. I think everyone's surprised that you guys even did that much. I think everyone was just like, I think I thought that ended like 6 months ago, because I thought it ended like around the time our stimulus ended, but I guess not. The pause is now set to run through the end of the year, with the repayments to start in January. Okay, that makes sense. I'm only just now able to stay paying them since I have a job. I'd be so fucked if it had been going this whole time. That's fair. I think that's like I'd feel really bad if you had to like be forced to like pay shit like this when you didn't have a job because everyone got fucking laid off or everything shut down. Like, that'd be super bullshit if the government was like, we're shutting down any access to work, however we still expect you to pay us. Like, that would be incredibly fucked up. I don't think anyone could disagree. Actually, there's probably people who disagree with that. But they would disagree because they would believe that the businesses never should have been shut down in the first place. Which I would say probably businesses shouldn't have been shut down as long as they were. But like shutting down businesses for a time was probably something we should have done. But that's a whole other conversation. We're not going back into COVID stuff. I'm never touching COVID again on my channel. I did it like a couple of times at the beginning of my channel, and I will never do it again. It is awful. Oh, heinous conversations. Both of these targeted action for families who need it most. Working and middle class people hit especially hard during the pandemic. Cancellation applies to federal student loans used to attend undergraduate and graduate school. Current college students qualify if their loans were issued before July 1st. wait, before July, if their loans were, oh, okay, I see. For dependent students, their parents' household income must be below 250,000. Okay. Why is this so loud? Most people need to apply for the relief. The U.S. Education Department has income data for a small share of borrowers, but the vast majority will need to prove their incomes through an application process. Officials said applications will be available before the end of the year. When they say dependent students, does that just mean like your parents pay, or does it mean that like you still live at home and like your parents pay for other stuff? What does like dependent mean in this case? I don't know if anyone. I don't know if you're gonna have the. I don't know if you have the answer to that. I might have to look that up. What is a dependent? Biden's plan. Oh, Biden's plan makes 43 million borrows eligible for. I may even have. Oh, I may even have to take out more to pick up a few classes since the requirements for licensure here may not match my courses from Europe. So that should be. Oh shit, that sucks. I feel like once you have like your degree, someone's child. Yeah, I know like a dependent like is like you're somebody's child, but like, does that mean like if as long as you live at home, like you're considered a dependent, and your family would have to make 250,000 combined? Okay, I guess that makes sense. It just um 43 million borrows eligible for some debt forgiveness, with 20 million who could get their debt erased entirely, according to the administration. Oh yeah, I looked up average. I realized I looked up average earners, but that's actually all across the states. I should have looked up average wages of people who've gone to graduates or gotten their undergrad, because then you're probably gonna have a larger than 9%. But anyway, that's a different conversation. About 60% of borrowers are recipients of federal Pell Grants, which are reserved for undergraduates with most significant financial need. Meaning more than half can get 20,000 relief. That's actually surprising. I didn't realize that like that many people would be on Pell Grants. Does that just mean that a lot of people out of university are actually making over that 125,000 threshold, right? Or the 250,000? Because if a lot of these people are on Pell Grants. No, maybe not actually. Never mind. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud to myself. I'm trying to figure this out. I haven't read much on this. I just saw people. I think one of the biggest things that like annoyed me was I saw people bitching online about like, oh, it should have been more. They should have done more. Like, 10,000. Like I remember seeing one TikTok where this person was like, 10,000 is great, but it would be nice if I could have all of it forgiven. And it's like, how the fuck do you think they're gonna do that? Even getting the 10,000 was hard. Like, I understand that people are upset about like your student loan programs and the cost of education in the States. But student debt forgiveness is not the move. It's not the way forward. Like, there's got to be a better way, and there's got to be a better advocacy route. I'll take the 10K lol. Yeah, I think to me it was just like kind of like the bitchiness of like being like, oh, 10K is great, but like, you know, we should have gotten it all like all of it, like people still wanting that like complete student debt forgiveness. And I think like the hard part is like for me is like if you don't understand how that would be an issue, both like politically to get pushed through, or B, to like be financially viable for the states and not like absolutely screw your economy. Like, come on, you got to be smarter than that. Like, you got to be. I remember, oh god, I saw a tweet the other day. It was so bad where this guy was just like, debt doesn't exist and the states can just like oh god, what did he say? I need to find that tweet. And bring it up, because he's like, debt doesn't exist, like the government can just write it off. And he's like, yeah, for us, like we have to pay debt, but the government just writes it off. And the guy was like, no. And I was like, this guy just thinks somebody actually said like the government just writes off debt. And I was like, wait, how do you write off debt? How do you write off debt as the government? Sorry, I just keep seeing things, and I keep seeing people talk about things, and I keep people. Sure, if you get pedantic, then money doesn't exist. We made it up. Exactly. But this guy was actually like raging on Twitter about like the government can just write off debt, like actually write it off. It just disappears. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. was like, what? Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. Look, I know I'm economically illiterate. I'm not great with economics. I don't know a lot about like financial stuff, even this stuff. Like I'm like it's interesting, but I also like have enough economic literacy to understand that like complete student debt forgiveness is hard. And even this 10,000 plan was probably hard to get through just because it's not politically viable. Even if it's economically viable. But then people like I'm like, at least I like past that I know to like be like, okay, but this is all I know. And I'm like, I'm open to like stepping back from that conversation because I'm like, you know what? I don't know as much as like other people on this, and I'm just not going to give my opinion on stuff I don't understand at all. But then there's some people who are just so bold with being wrong all the time, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had that confidence. Sometimes. Let's see. Oh, so some people is getting it fully wiped out. Carton used the loans to attend Tufts University near Boston, and with Biden's plan, she will be able to help her parents repay the additional $1,000 they borrowed for her education. As a first-generation college student, she called it a leveling moment. The additional 1,000. Thousands. Oh, I see. That's incredibly stupid. Well, it was one of his campaign promises. Not that I would have voted for the other guys anyway. Okay. It sucks to say this, but how many politicians stick through on their political promises? Fucking Trudeau up here, twice in a row, promised to get our Native American population clean drinking water, and guess what? They still don't have that. So I don't have any faith. Like when people like run on certain platforms, I don't expect any of that shit to happen because you know they're just saying it to like get like to get the votes, right? Like once they're in, they don't care. Maxwell, I'm going to ban you. We're not going back into this conversation. We're not having it again. We're not doing it. My lord, oh god. Let's see. I'd say for me personally and a lot of people that this is a lot of money. 23-year MBA student at North Carolina Central University has more than $40,000 in student loans. As an undergraduate student, she took jobs to minimize her debt, but at $10,000 a semester, the cost piled up. $10,000 a semester? What the fuck, North Carolina? Wait, hold on. What the fuck was it called? No, Central University. Central University cost? There ain't no way. Tuition fees and annual cost. That's per year? 25,000 a year? What the fuck going on in America? What is happening? What in the ever-loving fuck? Okay, like I said, I'm going to a pretty decent university in Canada, and I pay $7,500 a year. You're paying $25,000 a year? Why? Why is it? I don't. Is this even like? Is this a top tier university? Is this like a decent university? Holy shit! That actually like made my heart pound so hard. I paid $30K. Yeah, but you went to a private institution that was like a right? Like it was a wasn't. You paid $9,500 per semester at Appalachian State University, and that's insane to me. That's actually because I paid $2,500 to $3,000 a semester. What is 90? What did you do your degree? What level was this university? How like is this a good university? Like tell me that you're going to like a top tier university for that price. Also, Max, didn't your schooling was like a year and a half. It was just like a condensed program at a private school, so it makes sense. That's a little bit more understandable. you're at a private school for a specialized thing, and you did a condensed program. So like, yeah, that's fine. My whole master at a private university in the Netherlands was 30K. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the Europeans got it figured out. Central is not a good school. Oh my fucking god. Central University is charging 25,000 for shit education. I'm sorry, I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment. I'm sorry. I can't I I know education in the States is expensive. But oh my god. Oh my god, it's so expensive. Books and on-campus. Wait, that includes room and board. Just tuition is 6,000. Were you paying? Were you a? Central's not a good school. Computer science mid tier 3.7. Okay, that's not bad. Did you do room and board? Is room and board really common in the States? Like way more than here? Because here room and board is not like it's not super common because you usually like unless you're like maybe in the central provinces, but like on the coast like you're pretty close to a school unless you like decide to go somewhere crazy. I think that's one of the other things. I think a lot of universities in the States. Hello, welcome, Hamfrews. I think a lot of maybe States people like I paid for it myself and my as a parent of a 2-year-old too. Jesus, how the fuck did you afford that? How old were you? Oh, we have money saved. Good for you. That's actually impressive. I will commend you for that. Um, Sorry, I really had a moment with that when I saw that pricing. But that includes room and board, so that makes me feel a little bit better. That included room and board. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. That's not bad. I think that's a little bit closer to what it is here. Okay. That actually really freaked me out when I thought that was just the cost of tuition. But that's room and board and everything. I don't want to dox my university actually, where I go to school. So we're just gonna move that over here. Oh my thing's on. Oh wait, no, I can just you know what? I can turn off my I can just set it to my camera. Let me see what my see if I can find out my what is it with room and board. Maybe it's actually not that far off. With 5 courses, it's 15,000. Tuition for 5 courses. No, that's not right. Total per term? Oh, for international students. No. Domestic students. There we go. Tuition and then residence, meal plan, residence. Okay, so ours is like 10K if you're doing like residency and everything. But that's with 5 courses, which most people aren't taking. Okay. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Whew. Okay. We're okay. Wait, Brady, did you do to be fair, mine did not, and the cost of living in oh, okay. But my loans also help with that. Okay. Hi, Ed. How's it going? Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. I'm gonna close that before I accidentally show what university. I think I probably showed my university before, but we're just not gonna take the chance. Um, yeah, I just think the only difference is that room and board is probably more common in the States than here. I was part of a Delta Chi fraternity and they had plenty of time to work on the side as well. Oh shit, good for you. You worked hard. That's commendable. To be honest, a lot of students dick around with bullshit majors and do not think they have to work. I'm sure that's true of certain people. I don't think a lot of people want to like go into debt for nothing. But I will say, if you're gonna go to university, pick your major wisely. Don't do some bullshit stupid major. If you're gonna do some political science major, look, I think if you're doing like if you have the money and resources to do a degree that you're passionate about, do it. But if you don't have the time and or like the resources to do a degree that you like love, don't do it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it right now. I think it's just like financially, it's like we all want to say like, oh, I'm gonna go to university and I'm gonna like study the things I love, and it's like, yeah, but it's like you're gonna go 30, 40K into debt and have 40K worth of student loans and come out with like a gender studies degree, which I know is like the big joke, but like it's true. If you're actually, you know what I'll recommend to people like this? If you don't have the like economic stability to go into university, go into trades. You'll make more money and you might be able to like later on go back to school and do something you're passionate about. But like university I think we like over push university onto every student and we like make it as if it's like the thing that you have to do to get like anywhere in life, and I don't think that's true. I think we've like really fucked young people because it's like we tell them that the only like way forward is to like go to university, and like that's the only way you'll ever be successful, and I think that's not something we should do because I think it puts like all this burden on people to take out student loans. Maybe there's a conspiracy there though. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe they're doing it because they want people to take out student loans. Anyway, different conversation. When we all getting on stream again together? Okay, Friday. I'm down for Friday. Um, I had the grades to go to a top school, but chose ACU because it was the cheapest for the best education. I knew I had to pay for it. That's fair. See, and that's smart. I think like people need to think about those maybe those factors more before they go into university. I think like a lot of times we like just push the idea of university and not like what it all comes with, like the cost, what can you do with like the degree you get, like plan ahead of time what you're gonna do and don't just like jump into those decisions. Or maybe tuition should be affordable, $500 for books, and that's with $40. So, yeah, okay, I will hardcore agree with that. You'll never get disagreement from me. Education, especially like in the state, I guess here too, but education is way too expensive. Me and Brady were talking about this earlier, but the plans for student loans in the States are fucking garbage. Like in Canada, I'm pretty sure if you get like a degree in a certain topic and like you go into that line of work like pretty quick after, like you don't interest, and if you pay certain amounts, you don't have to like pay like a shit ton of interest. Like the student plans up here for student loan repayment are way better. The States just has none of that shit, or it's just not accessible and people just don't know about it. I don't know which it is. Like you guys might have those type of plans existing, but they just might not be known because they cover them up. But like at least in Canada, I know like those. That's why we don't have the same issues with student debt. But then yeah, like all the resources and everything. Like I haven't paid for textbooks in years. Okay, I've been going to my university, and I don't pay for textbooks. I will say nothing more, nothing further. Um, I knew that loans were a debt trap. Honestly, though, most undergrads are useless for most jobs nowadays anyway. I wish I had studied a trade. I don't know if that's necessarily true, just because sometimes the bar to entry for a lot of jobs is like having a degree, and it's not necessarily about having the degree or the education that you got. It's just about like them seeing your dedication to being educated. Like a lot of like line of work, like will like as soon as they see that you don't have a degree, might just throw out your resume because they'll put it as a requirement, like they want you to have a degree. I know it's becoming less common again because it used to be like probably from 2010 to 2020 that was like a really big thing where like people are like, you need to have a degree because like actually probably even in the 2000s it was like one of those things where you want to have a degree because it was something that like a lot of jobs and like hiring people looked for, whereas now I think that's like going away a little bit again. um Banks run the show, they collect interest on loans, they push universities through the media, the finance, so it's sort of a conspiracy. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm onto something there. Okay, call me crazy, give me my tinfoil hat, but I think like I just think the pushing of like university on every single person, because I think, and I'm going to university. I think university is great. I think it gives people access to experiences and knowledge that you would never access otherwise in a lot of ways. But the fact that we like push it that every person, if you don't go to university, you're like a loser, you're unsuccessful, you won't like go anywhere in life. I think that's also not good. There has to be like a balance. Like it should be like if you can afford and like utilize university in a good way, then do it. But if you can't, then like that's not the path for you, and that should be okay. Um, Not even if wait, going into the military can forgive debt if you're an officer. Oh, isn't that why a lot of people go into the military? Because you guys get like huge like things for like education if you're in the military. I'm almost positive that's true. Not lol. Even if you file for bankruptcy, student loans follow you, and if you got a PP, wait, what, P plus loan, and you pass away, then you get transferred to your parents. So oof. Wait. Oh shit. Damn, that sucks. Your, your body is mortal, but your debts are forever. Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. There's trade schools and other certificates out there, like university is not for everyone. Yeah, and I think like we just need to stop pushing that like everyone has to be at university. And I think we're slowly moving away from the idea that like university is the only way to like get higher education. And I think a lot of that has to do with like the amount of education that there is online now and access to knowledge, despite not going to university. I would break my own legs before I enter the U.S. military. Me too. Anti-military take of the day. I think there should be a collective agreement of all citizens around the world to just not join any army ever again. And this is how we got to that boxing ring idea. If the citizens of the world collectively decide we are all going to unenlist and not join the military, then it forces the leader of every country to have to get into a boxing ring every time they have a political issue in the global forum. Okay? If US has an issue with Russia right now, or Ukraine has an issue with Russia right now, throw the two leaders into the ring and they box it out. And whoever wins, wins. I think that's the way forward, but that's just me. I would reminds me of Star Citizen Prison, or you died. Oh, you died. Let me bring you back from your genetic code so you can pay for your time. Wait, what? Is that a movie? I want to watch that. That sounds. Wait, what is that movie? Is that a movie? Star Citizen Prison. I don't even know what that is. Wait, what? Wait, Cluster Rehabilitation Facility on Aberdeen is an automated prison and is managed by a corporation of the same name where arrested criminals work off their sentences through a combination of serving time performing mining labor. I think Putin beats everyone. I don't know, man. There's some people who apparently think that Trudeau would beat Putin, but I don't think so. Zelensky? Could Zelensky beat Putin? He was a comedian. I don't know if he'd win. It's hard to say. Bro, the recruiters were hard after me in high school and college for my... Oh, yeah. They go after kids like you. A friend of mine became a surgeon. He joined the Navy for 5 years after and acted as a naval flight surgeon. 135K worth of debts forgiven, and now he works for New England Baptist Hospital, making 300K a year. Okay, that's cool, but having to join the military to be able to like pay for schooling is kind of like shitty. Does that make sense? Like, people shouldn't have to enlist in like a military service with like, you know, shady moral codes, just to be able to like become a surgeon. Like, what if there's kids out there who are like, who would be incredibly smart, but the only bar to access is the fact that it costs so much? Do we not want like more doctors and surgeons out there? But like, we would have more doctors and surgeons and like health workers if we didn't make the bar to access like so damn fucking high. Because having like having shit, what's it called? Like some level of like formal education needed makes sense. But if the only way to obtain that formal education is to pay like hundreds of thousands in tuition, then like, I don't know. It just seems kind of shitty. It's in a game. When you go to jail and die, they have your DNA on file so they can regenerate you and serve your time. Oh shit. Interesting. I've never heard of this. Trudeau's a pretty boy. He's never been in a fight in his life. That's probably true. Apparently he was a big flirt back in the day. Funny enough, I know people in my life who went to parties with him because they were at university. And I just read Ed's thing. I know, yeah, people who I know in my life went to parties and stuff because obviously he was a teacher before he became prime minister. And he definitely was a huge flirt at those parties, supposedly. No defamation, just allegedly. Allegedly. From hearsay. Um, yeah, but he's now debt free. It's okay to complain about it, but he did what worked, and he is also debt free. I don't use credit for anything anymore. I made well over 6 figures last year, and I won't ever go back to using anything but cash. That's fair, but what I'm saying is like, there's like a like joining the military isn't like some like, you know, off the cuff decision. Like that's a intense thing. Like you can get oh geez, there's so many issues with the military. That's like the thing is like it. If the American military wasn't so abhorrent in their expeditions, I think it'd be different. Like joining the Canadian military probably isn't that big of a deal because the Canadian military doesn't do shit, right? But joining the American military is like a whole thing. So like forcing like if one of your only options to pay for schooling is to have to go to like join the military, you understand that that's probably not like a great system. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think like overall like we just need to like you need to have a better plan. Like I don't believe in student debt forgiveness, but I also don't believe that like the American education system should be so fucking expensive and that your student loans should be like have compounding interest the way they do is insane. Or not compounding interest, but just like intense interest rates on student loans. I think that's what's like fucking you guys over. There's better options than like having like there's the two extremes of like student debt forgiveness and just saying like fuck you, I worked my ass off so you can too, or like join the military. Like those are two extreme ends of like you could probably have a better system somewhere in between these that like made it easier for most people. We need a spicy hydrate option. What do you think? I think it's sorely needed. I actually drank for the first time in a while this weekend, and I got crossfaded for the first time this weekend. I was so fucking tired the next day. I was so sleepy. But we bought margarita mix at the store, and we took them because it was my buddy's birthday, so we went up to like a barn, and we took like margarita mix in a blender, and then we made like margarita slushes, and then we made like vodka cranberry slushes, and they were so good. But I only drank a little bit, and then we got high, so you know it was good. It was a good night, but I was so tired after. Alcohol gives me a headache, I think, though, like really quickly. I don't know if that was like I don't know if that was something like just the music and like us being all stupid, or if like that was actually the alcohol that gives me a headache. But I feel like I get a headache every time I drink, so I don't know. I don't do it very often. Rex is gonna become a ginger soon. I'm so excited. 7 days, 8 9 days, 9 days away, and then I'm gonna go get my hair dyed. I was going to do the same, but I didn't have debt, and when I grad, I was a year too old to become a pilot, so I passed. That's fair. How, if you don't mind me asking, what did you work when you were paying for these things, and like how long ago was this? When did you graduate? That's like a big. My interest would have been 1% due to my credit score, but I didn't take either option. I just ate ramen and used food stamps to feed my child. That's good. That's actually a smart, like, that's, I mean, at least you, like, utilize the resources you had. Based ramen diet. Okay. Don't shit on my ramen diet, okay? I ate ramen all through high school, but that's because I lived close to my high school and I hated staying at school for lunch, so I just walk home and make ramen every day and then go walk back to school. And then by the end of high school, I wasn't even walking back to school. I said, screw it. You know. What the fuck? Okay. Are we ever gonna finish this article? How much big? Okay, it's a little longer. Okay, we should actually go back to this. This is what I was doing. I always start an article and then we start talking and I forget what the fuck I was doing. Anyway, shit. I'm trying to see. Okay, we're good. We're good. I grad in 2018. I started school in 2014. Went to community college to get a 2-year before I went to university. I was an A+ computer tech, making 40K a year while in school. Okay, so you had a decent paying job. Also, I really commend you for being smart and doing the community college thing for 2 years. Because that's a big thing. I think we have cheaper schools here, and what I always tell people is like before you go to like the big schools, there's a couple of schools that are a little bit smaller so you can get a better education because you're so connected with your profs, and it's also a little bit cheaper. I think this is like a really smart option, is just do like all your basic undergrad like requirements at a community college or at a cheaper school, and then like check like make sure you obviously know which credits transfer, but like anything that you can do at a cheaper school at a community college, do all of those classes at your community college and just transfer later. You will be in such a better position. Okay, I gotta go. See you all later, Rex and Ed. Let's do a stream Friday or something. Yes, absolutely down. I will see you guys on Friday. Also, Ed, what do you want me to draw you? Do I have a pen? I do have a pen and paper. Look at that. Okay. Ooh. Didn't mean to do that. It's not gonna be a long stream today. I know it's only been an hour, but super good advice to give people. I try to tell people the same. A lot of them just don't want to hear it. Going to a small, I think again, it comes down to like people idolizing the idea of university, right? Like people like want that like big college experience, and like community colleges get shit on so much. Like if like I hear it in the States a lot more than I hear it in I'm in Canada, but I know people in the States, like if you stay in your state kind of after high school, like a lot of people draw something for Brady for Friday. Oh, I got you. I will do that. I think one of the things is like we shit on community colleges a lot, and like and in the States, like you guys kind of like, I've heard a lot of people, especially in like smaller towns, get shit on for like not leaving their smaller town right after high school. So it's one of those things where I think like if we need to stop idolizing like this big city college dream and just like be like, okay, what do I actually need to like, what is the point of me actually getting this education? Like you can do a lot of your undergrad stuff, like your first like, you know, 2 semester or your first year worth of like classes like are probably pretty standardized throughout all colleges and universities. So like if you can go to like your community college and get like all of your undergrad, like your base credits done for your first year, like that's like what you're saving like 10-15,000 maybe depending, because you're not paying for room and board. So you're not paying like the 25 grand a year for like room and board, and you pay probably cheaper prices for your all your classes. So like you significantly reduce the amount of like money you're gonna have to pay. But I don't know. It's just this idolization of like big university or big school, going to the city right after you. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes, or that's what it feels like. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so there's a lot of people just talking about, as a black woman, she felt higher education was a requirement to obtain a more stable financial future, even if that meant taking on larger amounts of debt. But again, like, it's just like forced, like, we need to stop this like notion that like we have to get a higher education to like be financially stable. I think like again we over idolize, and I'm not saying that it is true that getting a higher education is probably going to give you a better chance of getting a higher like more financial stability. But if getting that financial stability comes at the expense of your current financial stability, that's probably not a good idea either. Because you can gain financial stability through other means enough to like go to school later on. Like go into a trade, go get like some proper experience in like a job that pays like a salary, and like save up some money and then start university later at a community college, get your base credits done, and then go on to something else. But like I think people want to like jump into like university really quickly. And I was able to because my family was like luckily, you know, I was very privileged. My family was able to like support me through university, and I was able to go to university straight out of high school. However, I know a lot of people aren't in that position, so my advice to them would not be the same advice I would take. I was in a position that I could do that. I know most people probably aren't in that same position. I got into real estate investing and haven't looked back. Oh, good for you. That's a oh shit. My hair is still wet from my shower. Okay. I don't even use my degree anymore. Yeah, like that's actually, you know what's funny? I know so many people like that. I knew one of my dad's friends, they both graduated from the engineering program together. They were both like metallurgical engineers, which is a very like specific branch of engineering. Very high paid job too. But he got his engineering degree, became an engineer for a while, and then realized he didn't like it, and he became a police officer later on. Like, a lot of people don't use their degrees, and I think that's like one of the other things is like, make sure you get a degree in something like that is sustainable. Both for you like in terms of like financial stability after, like don't get a stupid useless degree, and also make sure it's something that like you're probably sure you want to do. Especially if you're like financially not super stable and you do decide to go to university, just don't waste all that money to not use your degree. Unless there's something you know that like might be more financially stable later on. But you know, life is so shifty that things happen. I understand. But just like I think people don't plan enough of that stuff in advance. The amount of people actually, sorry, the amount of people I've talked to who like go into university and I'm like, oh, what are you studying? And I'm like, what are you planning to do? And they're like, oh, I'm not really sure. I'm just doing my general stuff right now. And I'm like, why the fuck are you in university? Take a year off and go work. Why are you like going into university without a plan of like what you want to do? Because now you're just wasting time and money at university. And it's not that like, again, university is a great learning experience, but I don't think it's a place to waste your money. It's like you can get like a good learning experience by working out in the real world. And if you're unsure of what you want to do in university, just take a gap year. Go work, go find something to do, and then come back to it because it's not worth it. It is not worth it to spend that much time and money and energy on something that you're unsure of. Oh God, like I've talked to so many other students who have given me this answer, and I was like, I switched degrees, but I like am only like I'm taking a year more than instead of graduating in 4 years, I'm graduating in 5. But it's like during my other degree, I was taking a lot of courses for the degree I'm doing now, so a lot of my like first and second year courses were already done. So switching for me was really easy. But at least I went in with like a plan. I like wanted to do this first degree. I was really passionate. I even got 3 years through that degree, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go. I just like I'm financially stable enough to switch, and I'm like, this is not what I'm passionate about anymore. And I actually now know what I want to do. But like, if you go into university without even a plan, an inkling of what you want, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh God, yeah. Sorry, that's my little rant on that. I thought I loved that kind of work until I worked in Verizon and realized they work that need isn't what I loved. Oh, that was kind of the thing for me too. My first degree was chemistry, and so I did 3 years of a chemistry degree, and I worked in a chem lab. Like that was my first big job was like working at it as a chemistry person, and I worked in an experimental lab, which is really really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I still enjoy experimental chemistry, but the problem is when you get your chemistry degree, the actual options for experimental labs is so limited because most of the jobs that you're going to get out of university are like very basic, like either pharmaceutical manufacturing or like synthesis of like different materials and stuff, which is all very, very, very repetitive work. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I like don't want to sit and do the same thing constantly for the rest of my life. And that's a lot of what like chemistry work is like when you get into like the real world, unless you can find those like experimental labs or like companies that are like working on new findings and stuff. But that's like few and far between compared to like what most chemistry jobs are. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that. Now I'm in criminology. I'm planning to go into the Justice Department, possibly law school, but that's later on in my life. But I'm planning to do like justice work and like work with like youth outreach for I might also do forensics because obviously I have the chemistry background. I could just do my forensics certificate and try to work in like investigation and forensics later on. But I've got like basically I have a lot of like the nice thing about what university has done and like having my 2 different degrees. I have a lot of paths opened up and I know what all my paths are and I know where I want to go right now. But it also doesn't cut me off from like doing the other stuff. So I'm kind of in a good position right now. I have like lots of options. But I know like the main path I want to do is work like with youth offenders in community outreach programs. So like just basically diverting young offenders out of like the justice system and into diversionary programs so that they don't go through the courts and don't end up with like massive criminal records where they end up in jail and all this type of stuff. I'd rather just send them to programs like we have a lot of programs set up in BC where like students or like young offenders, like people who are like 18 and under who commit like first and second time offenders can just be sent to like those places and they're like basically programs that help them like either find jobs, get education, give back to their communities that they might have harmed. Like it's just like better community programming that helps people actually move forward from the criminal acts rather than just like be punished for the criminal acts. And I also want to set those up for, I think one of my future goals is to set those up for adults because we have a lot of those options for young offenders, but not a lot for adult offenders. So that's kind of where my career path is going. That's way off base, but yeah. My fiance's sister got a JD and doesn't use it. It became a scarlet letter where people look down on her as if she couldn't cut it. Make sure you want to do law if you go to just JD or if you could make you look like a quitter. What's a JD? Justice degree? I don't know what a JD is. Maybe it's maybe American thing. Jurist. What is that? Oh, a degree in law. Okay. Yeah, no. We have something called a criminology degree, which is like a lot of like criminal, like understanding like crime. not just like justice and law. Oh shit, my leg has fallen asleep completely. Um, it's not just law stuff here. It's like it's a whole like crime and theory of crime and all that type of stuff, like background. So ours is a little bit. I don't know if they do criminal. They must do criminology degrees in the States, but yeah, I'm not doing like a law degree. Um, I don't know. Yeah, like if I want to be a lawyer, it'd be something way off in the future. Um, but that's shit that people like make her feel like that for that, because like if you got the degree and like that's just not something you wanted to do anymore, that's totally fine. As long as you didn't like financially screw yourself because getting the degree. Oh yeah, JD is a degree. Oh okay, that makes some more sense then. Um, it just sucks when people like make you feel like shit, especially if it's just something like where you like decide to change your mind if you want to do something else and you realized it wasn't for you. She got the degree and passed the bar. Damn, good for her. Because that's an impressive feat of itself. But like, if it was something where she just didn't want to do it anymore, yeah, then why is anyone making her feel bad about that? That's shitty to me. As long as like she's not in crazy amounts of debt, or like as long as she has like another job that like takes care of her, then she's fine. Don't, people are shitheads about everything, man. People are stupid. Um. Anyway. The proposal will create a new payment. Okay, we're gonna go back to this article and try to finish it off before I end stream tonight. Actually, is anyone playing games right now? No one's playing games. I was gonna play some games for a bit, but maybe not if everyone's gone to sleep. Because it's midnight here, and I'm still tired from my vacation. I went away, and I'm like somebody who can't be away from my house for very long, otherwise I get tired. Anyway, let's finish off this article and then I'll probably wrap the stream up. The proposal would create a new payment plan requiring borrowers to pay no more than 5% of their earnings, down from 10% in similar existing plans. It would forgive any remaining balance for 10 years, down from 20 years now. It would also raise the floor for repayments, meaning no one earning less than 225% of their federal poverty level would need to make monthly payments. Oh, interesting. So I guess that's like stuff moving forward. Oh, the plan doesn't apply to future college students. It's just proposing a separate rule. Okay, interesting. I like this. I like this idea of like changing the planning of like how create new payment plan requiring borrowers to pay no more than 5% of their earnings, down from 10% in a similar existing plans. It forgive any remaining balance after 10 years, down from 20 years. Oh wait, is that a thing? Do you get an automatic like forgiveness if you haven't paid it in 20 years? That's not true, is it? Is that a rule? After 20 years, you can just like get for your debt forgiven? Companies don't care, dude. They will see you as a quitter. I promise. It's odd. Oh, really? Companies see her like that? Oh shit, that's not good. Okay, interesting. Huh. I thought it was like maybe like people around her, like family or friends or whatever, like kind of like push that on them, but like damn, companies. Crazy. I just would take it off my resume. Fuck you. um, as a regulation, it would not require congressional approval, but it can take more than a year to finalize. Biden's plan comes after more than a year of deliberation, with the president facing strong lobbying from liberals. When it's sweeping debt forgiveness, and for moderates and conservatives question its basic fairness. Once popular campaign promise during the presidential primaries issued created an almost unwinnable situation. Some fellow Democrats criticized the plan Wednesday, saying it's too costly and does little to solve debt crisis. In my view, the administration should have further targeted relief and proposed a way to pay for this plan. Yeah. I think that's like the big thing is like with such economic hardship in the States right now, I think everyone's just more worried like we're paying for like people who are probably going to be like some of the highest earners in society, and sending aid relief there instead of like to like probably some of the people who are on the outskirts of society, especially at a time of economic crisis. And that's like my only issue with like plans like this that target student debt. You know, as much as there's people who get stupid degrees and like don't make money after university, most people who go to university will be higher average earners than like most of the population, right? They'll fall into like the higher level of like earners than like anyone who didn't go to a secondary, like post-secondary. And so it kind of sucks when like we target so much relief at like, and people like liberals and leftists, like I'm a leftist, but like as a leftist we should know that like targeting financial aid at people who are going to be some of the highest earners is probably not the people we should be targeting. Like there's people who need this money more, and we're like sending out 10,000 to like a bunch of students who it's like yeah, you're probably gonna make enough to like keep up with your payments, and like you might not be in the best financial position, but you're probably gonna be able to like pay it. That's like my only issue with like student debt relief right now. Um, we'll just be back in the same spot in a few years. Yeah, that's why I like that he's also shit, proposing a plan to like make paying for student debt easier. And again, I think the biggest issue is like your actual student loan plans are terrible. Like I think I've said it like 2 times already in this stream, but I'll say it again. In Canada, we don't have like crazy compounding interest on like student loans, and like there's a lot of ways that you don't even get any student interest on student loans in Canada if you like work in the field that you got your degree in, or if you have like a job like right out of university, or if you're like paying a certain amount on your like student loans. Like there's all these ways to like not have to pay like major amounts of interest like you do in the States. Whereas like interest apparently like makes up so much, like a huge percent of like student loan repayments. And I just like never like even knew that, because I'm like in Canada I don't think I ever hear about that happening, but that's because our student loan plans are way better if you do take out student loans. But yeah, that's why I don't like, that's the other reason like I don't like student loan forgiveness plans, is just because like you half solve an issue. Like you're just kind of like, okay, this is like a band-aid solution and we're just gonna throw it at it because it's gonna make people happy for like a short amount of time, and then in 5 years when like we have a whole new set of graduates who have the same issue, and we like now have a bunch of people with new student debt, we're gonna have to do this all over again. It's like maybe we should just make a better plan to like reduce this from happening in the future, and we don't have people going into this major amounts of student debt. You know, make university and post-secondary education more affordable, make better student loan plans. Yeah, those are the two big ones actually. Those are just basically the two huge things that they should be doing instead. But whatever, they can do whatever they want. Okay, let's see if there's any interesting comments actually. Oh god. We could easily, okay, this was referring to this line where they're like, we could easily I think this is like in response to people who want like other people to pay because they did it. In a Thursday note to clients, economist Goldman Sachs. Oh, Goldman Sachs estimated that Biden's administration planned to discharge about 400 billion in student loan balances, and lower monthly payments would have only a small overall impact on spending, boosting gross domestic product by about 0.1% next year and less in subsequent years. As a result, the forgiveness would have a similarly small effect on inflation, one that would be more than fully offset by separate provisions that would end the pause on payments. Is that interesting? I would look into that. I don't know enough about economics to. Pouring roughly $500 billion of gasoline on the inflationary fire that is already burning is reckless. The bill will increase inflation by 0.2% to 0.3%. That is likely an underestimate. Where did you read that? Can we see? Is there more comments? Oh wait, I don't want to like it. Is there just? Oh, I thought there was more replies there. Anyway, I think in my next stream I'll be going over like the comparison of like student debt to the PPP loans, because I know a lot of people are making that comparison of like, oh, you guys were all okay taking PPE loans or whatever they were, and now you're upset about the student debt forgiveness, and I'm like, these are two vastly different things that apparently people don't understand the difference between. But that's fine. We can talk about that next stream, because I am getting severely tired. It is 12 a.m. So I am going to be doing more philosophy stuff and hopefully more legal stuff, but there's just been no major bills or legislation that have been interesting lately, so I haven't touched much of that, but maybe I'll go back to that. Philosophy stuff is coming up soon. I am still writing up the document for how the philosophy debates on here are going to go. So if you're interested in that, join my Discord. I'm going to try to send that out. I was supposed to get it out last weekend, but I was on vacation, so I didn't finish it. Hopefully by next weekend, end of next weekend, I'll post the document in my Discord for how the philosophy readings and debates and all that setup is going to go, because I think it'll be super interesting. There'll be a sign up for people who want to come on and debate philosophy stuff, and I'll be sending out articles for people to read that we can debate later on. So if you're interested in any of that, join my Discord. It'll be out probably next weekend. I'm really hoping. I'm trying to get it done. And then yeah, I will be back later this week, probably Wednesday night streaming next or Tuesday. I don't remember. No, definitely not Tuesday. Maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Whenever I decide to stream. I'm trying to get back into the groove of things because I my semester was crazy, so I didn't stream very much, and then I went on vacation, so I stopped streaming. So we're getting back into it, and I'm gonna start doing more again. I'm gonna go finish the Fresh and Fit podcast I was watching because it was making me very, very angry. Um, and I'm probably just gonna get more angry, and maybe I'll do a review of this Fresh and Fit podcast because this one particularly got me so fucking heated. So, yeah, I will be back. Hopefully, either tomorrow or Wednesday will be the next stream. So if anyone is interested, please join my Discord where you can get announcement and updates about what is going on, and you can suggest topics to me of things you want me to cover. So yeah, I will be back. Bye.